What is going on, guys? It's Alana with 570 Press. Today, I am here with one of our awesome reviewers, Ray. We're going to be doing something a little bit new. We're going to be doing a Meet the Team. I'll snag Jamie and Emmy sometime. So if either of you are watching, hit me up because you guys are nuts. No one is safe.
No one is
But
safe.
tonight, we're going to talk a little bit about how Ray came to our page because it's actually a really funny story. So without further ado, here's Ray.
Hey, yeah. So I started doing reviews for 570 Press because I ended up writing a short review on A Day to Remember's new album. It's a terrible album, I will say. It was not good at
Yeah.
all. Um, you're welcome for the trash that they gave is basically what they should have called the album. But did a short review of it just because I was kind of like disappointed with the entire album. And Alana saw it and she was like, "Do you just want to do reviews and stuff for us?" I'm like, yeah. So it started out as like a trial run thing, and I ended up liking it. So here I am.
Hell yeah. And it was funny because when I first saw the review, I was like, oh my God, he's gonna think I'm joking, but like I like how brutally honest he is. I'm like, all right, I'll comment and I'll see what he says. And then I was like, all right, I'll just DM you. So I asked him and he was like, yeah, sure. And I was like, wow, okay. So he didn't think I was
No,
joking.
no, it's definitely fun to do. I definitely feel that I have a lot of a strong opinion on music, especially when it comes to like bands that I already like, such as A Day to Remember. And I'm just kind of at the point where, I listen to a lot of bands and a lot of newer bands, are, I want to try to find better bands out there that I already, already listen to or don't listen to. But I mean, bands like A Day to Remember, where they're putting out stuff that is nowhere as good as where I could just listen to Homesick and that entire album is going to be amazing and I know it. Yet they'll put out stuff that, is not as good.
Right. And I feel like what a lot of bigger bands try to do is they try and top themselves. And sometimes
Mm.
they can't top themselves. For whatever reason, they just can't do it.
I think I think bands that have already grown a real lot over the years. I think the thing that they're missing is they're missing a lot of that strive that when you first become a band, you're trying to just push out everything. Like a lot of like the heavier bands that are coming out, they're just pushing out the heaviest thing that they can just to get noticed. And what's happening is they're peaking at that point, and when they're putting out more and more music, they don't have that same energy behind it where when you first come out of the band you have like that rawness, and there's just so much energy, whereas a lot of newer or older bands that are putting out newer music, they don't really need that energy, they don't need that rawness anymore, they don't need that drive or that
Right.
passion behind it. So I think that's what they lack. Because honestly, if that album came out and they were like a new band, I don't think it would have survived. But because it's
Right.
A Day to Remember, you have that brand name already. So you're going to have everybody listen to it.
Exactly. Exactly. And in a sense like they need their money. So now they're just doing it like to do it.
Mhm.
Like they're not trying to prove anything.
Yeah. And I think that's what the
So
big problem is.
Duds exactly. Dud says array to Meoni
Ah,
with a
yes.
heart.
I love Duds. Duds is
Yeah,
probably one of the greatest guitarists in this area, or in my opinion, ever. He's definitely
I
up there with
agree.
like guitarists like with Iron Maiden and stuff like that.
I agree. Shout out to Duds. We love you. So, why don't you tell the people a little bit more about yourself besides, hey, I'm Rhea. I like music and I write reviews about that music.
Yeah, I mean there's not a lot to know. I started going to shows at a really young age, and I think that's where a lot of my passion came from, just being able to go see, a band every weekend. Um and I grown to really like a lot of the bands that came out over the years, like I know that in your area, a Fighting Chance was there. I really liked the Fighting Chance, so I know that they were one of the bigger bands that it really influenced me on looking out for a lot new music. There's other bands like Those Clever Foxes, which songs I still listen to. I still listen to a lot of Scranton bands, and I just look back on it. I'm like, this music was just so good. I think from 2011 to 2013, bands in general were just putting out the best music that of that year, like that year span,
Oh
because
yeah.
it's that was like the prime time of being in the music scene, was like that time frame.
Oh yeah, yeah, and that's like with any genre. That's with pop punk,
Hmm.
even just rock, metalcore. I still listen to like a Skylit Drive's first album
Oh no.
because I still think it's good. Like even to this day, like R.I.P. A Skylit Drive, but still,
I feel that same way with I Wrestled a Bear once. I miss seeing I Wrestled a Bear once at Warped Tour every year. There was just like one of the bands that was just on the lineup every year, and they were just
yeah,
so much fun to see.
yeah. I know. I only went to one Warp Tour. I only
Oh,
went to
really?
2018's. Yeah, I only went to
Oh
2018.
no, you
I
weren't at the
know.
good ones.
No, no, but I know I was pissed because I wanted to see Real Friends and I stood in line at like that stupid like water dispenser thing
Oh yeah.
for literally Real Friends' entire set. And by the time I got to like the pavilion, which is like where they were under, they were done. I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me?"
Oh yeah, you gotta like push people. It was like I think 2010 had like the weirdest lineup of bands. Like there was like old school punk bands on there, like Pennywise and stuff like that, and then there was I can't remember. I think it was like Suicide Silence, and right before Suicide Silence came on, like the Millionaires played, and it was just the weirdest. It was the weirdest like lineup that they had for that one stage. I think that was that Monster stage where the Millionaires played, and then Suicide Silence.
Yeah, yeah, I noticed how the monster stage was always the weirdest one because I know when I went, I don't know, no, 303 wasn't on. I think 303 was on one of the main stages, but it was
Mhm.
like it was like some really hard metal band. I don't even remember who the hell it was. And then Twisted was on right after on the monster stage. I was like, what the
Oh,
fuck?
I think that was Acacia Strain. That was the year
Yeah,
Acacia Strain played. That was
yeah,
a good year.
yeah.
I was at that one too.
Yeah, I know. I know. I also missed Twisted because I went to see Motionless in White, and I was all the way in the back, and I was like, I can't see anything because like they had the Monster Energy truck,
Mhm.
and the way me and my friends were positioned, we were kind of next to it. And then my friend Jordan, she was like, "Fuck this, I'm pushing ahead." She had pushed her way ahead, and we couldn't get any further than on the other side of the truck. But I was like, I still can't see.
We're short people. It happens.
Yeah, absolutely. That was also the year I wore a full face of makeup and a hoodie to Warp Tour.
Why? I don't understand why anybody would wear a hoodie in general at Warp Tour, just because it's like 95 degrees. It's always on the hottest day of the year.
Okay, in fairness, the weather said for that day it was supposed to rain, and I didn't want to be caught without a hoodie. So I
You
wore
wear
one
a poncho.
and then I took it off. But yeah, yeah, I think everybody who saw me thought I was out of my mind because I just had this like hoodie tied around me. I was wearing all black, a full face of makeup, and everybody was just looking at me like, what the hell's wrong with her?
Oh no. It's that's not fun. I can just imagine how hot that was.
It was. It truly was. And I don't know how like after a while I didn't even notice it. And I don't know how, but I literally just didn't notice it anymore. I don't know if that was like a good thing or a bad thing, if I should have been concerned, but I wasn't at the time.
Mhm.
So, who do you think is your favorite band that you've reviewed so far? Not playing favorites, but who do you think was like the most fun for you to review?
Let's see. I know that I think there's like a few of them that I really liked. I liked the band that was a super group of like the members of like the Faceless and Suffocation. I like that band. I forget what their name was. I have to like look on the review page for all these reviews that I did because I can't remember most of them, but
I
I
know.
know it was that one specifically, and then there was the that newer hardcore band that was coming out. Like they were just putting out their new stuff. Oh, Truth Devoid. I really like Truth Devoid a lot because they had the really early 1990s death metal feel to a lot of
Mhm.
their songs, and I think around the time of when I started listening to like actual bands, because like when you're younger you'll listen to whatever your parents listen to,
Yeah.
but then when you break out of that and go into, okay, well, what do you like, I started getting into like a lot of death metal, Cannibal Corpse, Obituary, so on and so on. So when I listened to Truth Devoid, uh I was just like, wow, this is like the best thing that's coming out right now, just because
Yeah.
it brought so many memories of just listening to those bands when I was younger. It almost felt like the first time I listened to Cannibal Corpse. So I think that's what really, you know, comes at me strong. And the band that had like the dude from Suffocation in it was really cool too, just because I love Suffocation. They're just like one of the cool bands.
Hell yeah. So, speaking of Cannibal Corpse, you never finished your Cannibal Corpse story from Spooky Summer.
Oh, yes.
So, now I'm putting you on the spot. Now I'm making you tell me the whole story and not finish the story.
I'm trying to remember what I was even saying
I
cuz
don't know. I don't even know how it came up. I don't remember how it came up at all. But I just know
oh,
you're like, oh, when I played with Cannibal Corpse.
yeah, so I was doing a benefit show in Tampa, Florida, and while I was out there, I was with Cannibal Corpse and stuff, and it was really funny because while I was there, um I think like one of the people from the band, not like the actual band, but like I think one of the roadies and stuff asked me to do coke with them in the back. And it was just
What?
so weird. I mean, like I didn't do it, but it was just like the weirdest thing that like as a comedian, I'm like, oh, this is where my life is taking me now. Um, but it was just so funny. That's like one of the more humorous adventures I had with being on the road with doing stand up and stuff.
Right. So that's another thing. How long have you been doing stand up for?
So I've been doing stand up since I was about 18. Um, and I kind of stopped, a couple months into it just because you can't really do anything when you're 18. So I kind of stopped for a while, picked it back up when I was about 21 because I was able to go to like bars and stuff and do stand up there. And so that's where I really took it seriously and started doing it almost everywhere, going to any kind of show that I can perform at. Um, and so one of my good friends, Russell Austin, was like, well, let's go to California. And so we went to California the one year. I think this was about 2 years ago. And while we were out there, if he wasn't with me, I've actually would have joined Scientology by mistake. So
Oh God.
what happened was we were walking to a venue to do an open mic, and while we were out there, this guy's just handing out movie tickets, and it was just like of a volcano exploding on the ticket. I was like, this is cool, let's go. And then he's like, that's Scientology. And then that's when I learned about Scientology that day.
Oh, so that's how they get you. They give you movie tickets with volcanoes on them.
Yeah, and I was like, this looks
Yeah.
amazing.
Right? Dude, I probably would have said the same. I would have been like, cool. Say no more.
Oh, absolutely. It was so funny that ended up happening, and I'm like, I'm glad Russell was here with me.
Yeah. Because you probably would have been like, well, I guess I'm a Scientologist now. Welcome to the cult, right?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
That was like the one thing, like, and then I got like really into like looking up cults and stuff, and then just watching videos on them. It's just like the most insane things.
I know. Yo, cults have always fascinated me, and I want to bring you on when me and Jamie talked about that on Ghoul Friends, because that that has always fascinated me. That some asshole gets an ego trip and is like, I want people to obey me. Like what?
Well, there was
Like,
that like
dude.
older guy that like killed all of his people. He like poisoned everybody.
Oh yeah, Jonestown. I don't remember his name.
Yeah.
Jonestown. Yeah, he like talked them into like drinking like cyanide laced Kool-Aid or whatever. Like, bro, you want something that obeys you, bro. Get a pet.
That's fair. Yeah, but
Like, I
pets
mean,
don't always obey.
true, true. I mean, I yell at my cats every day and they just look at me and like cause problems. So
You ever have a husky? Huskies are assholes. They
no, my aunt had a husky though, and yeah, I can confirm huskies are assholes.
they'll just talk back to you, and then you're like, "Oh, what do I do in this situation now?"
Yeah, but the bad thing is huskies are usually taller than me, so I'm just like, you know what? You're taller than me. You win.
It's any dog for me. That
Yeah.
I hate ankle biters. Just give me all the big dogs.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what? I always see this meme where it's like, never apologize for your dog jumping on me because if I get taken out by a huge mound of fur, then so be it.
It's good. Yeah, I'm perfectly fine with that. That's why I loved Spooky Summer so much because there was so many dogs.
I know. I know. I love dogs and I love cats, but I don't know. I just feel like I'd be that person that like if I could have like a cat and a dog like everywhere in my house, I would. But my dog doesn't get along with other dogs, so I only have one.
Oh, what kind of dog do you have?
I have a red-nosed pit bull.
Oh,
Yeah,
pitties are the best.
I know he's adorable, but he doesn't like other dogs. He loves the cats, but like other dogs, no. He's just like, you know what, buddy, fuck you, like to the other dog. Yeah,
No.
like my neighbor's like four houses up. Like if my dog's in the yard and their dog comes out, he like takes off my deck and like starts barking at him from the yard. I'm like, dude, chill. He's nowhere near you.
He's like he's there. I see him.
Yeah, I can see him. Yeah, exactly. Well, that is all I have for you. This was fun. And like I
Yeah.
said, come back on the, Goal Friends, this podcast, it's fun because especially Goal Friends, because me and Jamie never stay on topic. I don't know how I stay on topic when I do like this one. I think it's because I'm doing it so long. It's just like second nature now. But like on Goal Friends, we're always like, oh, by the way, did you see? And then it like goes down the rabbit hole.
Oh yeah. I would definitely like to do Ghoul Friends. That looks like so much fun.
It
Just
is.
because I'm obsessed with horror. If you
Oh, me
haven't
too.
noticed.
Oh yeah, yeah. I have all mine in the other room, but yeah, me too. That reminds me. I saw this article today where Jamie Lee Curtis literally said that like if you show your young children Halloween, you're the worst kind of human being. And I was like, bro, you were literally in the movie. First of all, second of all, weren't you in horror movies when you were a child?
Yeah, yeah, she was.
What, like, what?
Yeah, I don't know. I think what's really funny is that like I think people who've been in movies that like when they were younger, they kind of look at it as like cringe to them.
Yeah,
I that's what I would assume, anyways. Like Jamie Lee Curtis probably made so much money off of Halloween, yet she'll look at it and she's like, oh, she just sees all of her flaws in the entire movie.
yeah. And she's like, ew.
Yeah, that's probably why she doesn't want anybody to watch it. But it's like such
Yeah,
an iconic
honestly.
movie.
Yeah, honestly, because she was like a kid when Psycho came out. How come you didn't
Mhm.
tell people not to watch Psycho? You know what I mean?
It's true.
Yeah, and you can't tell me she didn't watch that. I mean, her fucking mother was in it. So
Although a Halloween 3 is like one of my favorite out of the series. So,
yeah, and I always talk about that. It's funny because that's the way John Carpenter intended for the Halloween
mhm,
franchise to go.
it's true.
Yeah, he didn't want to continue with Michael, and then he kind of had to with the success of the first one. But after that, he didn't want to continue with that.
Oh no. But yeah, I just I talked to everybody about it. I'm like, oh, well, what do you think about 3? And then they're just like, it sucks. Michael Myers isn't in it. I'm like, but
Yeah,
did you watch it?
I'm like, that's how it's supposed to be. That's why he was blown up at the end of part two. He wasn't supposed to come back.
Although I do enjoy 4, where Dr. Loomis gets blown up by a gas station. He doesn't really blow up. It just explodes by him, and it's just the funniest scene for me.
Yeah, yeah, because he clearly sees that it's on fire, but yet he jumps like right into the garbage cans. I'm like, bro, like I know you're old, but get the hell out of there. What?
Oh, it's so funny. I
I
laugh
know.
at it every time I watch it.
Oh, yo, I always laugh at the intro to Halloween 5, like where they're like carving the pumpkin.
Hmm.
I always say every Halloween I'm gonna carve a pumpkin like that, but it wouldn't look like a jack o' lantern. It would just be like a cut up pumpkin.
Yeah. I mean, you should still do it. It would still look cool. No one will know what
Yeah,
it is.
ex- exactly. Like unless you've seen every Halloween, you're not gonna know. You're gonna be like, what the fuck is she doing?
I know that pain.
Yep. But yeah, seriously, just let me know when. I don't know what our topic is for this upcoming week. Me and Jamie didn't talk about it yet. But if you ever see a topic that interests you, like even if you're just watching, you want to hop on, like I'll just send you the link.
Okay, yeah, no, that
Yeah.
works. I'll
All
keep
right.
an eye out for it then.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Well, thank you so much for talking with me. This was fun.
Yeah, no, I'll definitely do it again. This was awesome. Thanks for having me on.
Hell yeah. Anything you want to plug really quick? Music, art, movies,
Yeah.
yourself?
So I mean, if you guys want, I'm gonna start streaming again on Twitch. I haven't done it in probably like a couple weeks. But if you want to go check me out, I am at Roy_Pepperoni. I play all different types of games, horror and magic, and other games in between that. So if you guys are interested in that, go check me out. But that's all the plugs I have.
Hell yeah. All right. Cool. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you, and I'll see you guys later.